It's really not like in times of high demand, you're presented plenty of opportunities to optimize and gain extra revenues, but these opportunities in such times of crisis are very, very scarce. So you need to make sure that you're equipped to capture every opportunity that is on your way moving forward, and that you really make the most out of those days that still present opportunities. But on the other hand, also you want to know, when does the business come back?
Yeah.
And that might be in your pickup data at some point, where you see, as we heard it earlier, maybe Easter period next year is already showing signs of relief, or maybe next summer is picking up already. But what you don't see in your normal on the books data is all that opportunity in the next year maybe that has not materialized because your rates are too high, people are dropping out of the booking process at a certain stage because maybe your booking engine is not working properly, or your prices are too high, you're being too restrictive. So I think it's very well invested money, although I do understand the difficult situation of many hoteliers nowadays. But I would say it's you're leaving more money on the table than you would spend on such a forward-looking data solution.
Yeah. I think in the current context, maybe as a summary of what you two guys have been saying, but it is about trend and opportunity spotting. And then secondly, once you have done that, act with confidence, as you've been saying earlier. So you know exactly that the money you might be spending, or that the opportunities you can grab, are actually the right ones, right? And you haven't lost time and resources basically to chase for them.
Yeah, exactly. And I think there's also a right balance. You know, if you're a hotel, a lot of hotels are struggling. So, you know, obviously you can't say, hey, buy every sort of tool that you have in the market. But there is a middle way between going full on forward looking data or just looking at last year on the books, which is just plain irrelevant. There's probably a middle way into already turning your own forward looking data or your recently booking pace data in such a way that you already get an information about the future. So if you can't afford it, there's probably different ways, let's say, to actually get to maybe a similar result.
Yeah, using the data you already have.
And being more creative about, hey, how do we look at these things? And I think if there's a good thing out of this pandemic, I'm an optimist, so I try to find good things everywhere, which is hard. But one thing is that definitely from a revenue management perspective, I think it will force, and it has forced, people to actually think different about looking their data. You know, we've been, I don't know how long you've been. I've been doing revenue management for 20 years now. So I used to calculate things on an Excel. So there was no revenue management software whatsoever. But let's say, what we used to look at is last year on the books, you know, how did we finish? But I think this is a good trigger to start thinking more creatively.